Hi, this is Dwayne, and I'd like to share with you a couple more tips about what you can do to make your piano playing more excited. One thing you can do when you're playing arpeggios, you know, an arpeggio is simply a broken chord. Let's say you're playing the D minor 7th chord in the left hand, and D minor 7th, as you know, is D, F, A, C. So you can break it up like so. You get a low D, which is the root, and then the 5th, which is A, and then roll your, if your hand's small like mine, you can roll your thumb up to F, and then come on over to, roll your finger over to A, and then up to C, and then back down like so. Or you can go up to D, whatever you want, but you get an arpeggio going like that. And then in the right hand, to create a flowing river of sound, what you should do is take those notes out of the D minor 7th chord and make a straddle out of them. So instead of playing all 4, you play 2 and you leave 1 out. In other words, you can play those 2 and then play those 2. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is come down. I'll start a little higher so you can see. I'll play those 2, then those 2, and then I'll cross my hand over and play the next 2, and then the next 2. You see, I'm playing 2 of the 4 notes of the chord. The chord has 4 notes, but I'm only playing 2 notes at a time as I come down. You see that? So combined with the right hand, with the left hand arpeggio like that, you can get a nice sound. Listen. Here's E minor 7th chord. Here's A minor 7th chord, or A minor 9th chord. And if you combine those, like there I'm using a D minor, not really a 7th, but a 9th. And so I'm straddling on that. Create a nice flowing river of sound just by using arpeggios in the left hand broken chord and then a straddle in the right hand. Okay. Another thing you can do to get a more exciting sound is use what I call crunches. It's where you play a chord. Let's play the C6 chord, say, but just don't play it like that. Crunch it from the top down. Go like that. Watch. That gives an impetus to it. Let's say I'm playing along. The crunch, when you play a chord down like that, it gives a certain, it like sets the table for the next chord, or even for an ending like that. So it's called a crunch, and you just play from the top down. Okay. Now you could also turn that same crunch into a run if you wanted to. In other words, you could go into a waterfall chord, and all you do is you just take the 4 notes of whatever chord you're playing, or 5 notes, and just walk it on down like so. And you can do that on any chord, of course. That little deal I put on the end, I started on the 5th of the chord and went outward to the root. Let me do it close so you can see. If I'm playing in the key of C, I'll start on G and go up to C, and that G down to C. But you do it high after getting a chord established, then do it high on the keyboard, low on the keyboard, and it kind of wraps up it puts a punctuation mark, if you will, on the end of the sentence. Another thing you can do to make your playing more interesting is you can use implied blue notes. Now a blue note, as you know, it probably is like the flat 3rd or the flat 5th or the flat 7th of the scale. Okay, and of course you could use that. You could use it in a blues scale. You can do it that way. I mean, what you can do is you can imply it by sliding off, very lightly sliding off a black key. For example, if you're playing a C octave, say with G in between, slide off G flat, go like that. You see, it gives a little impetus again. It's kind of like a crunch in a way, but you're getting a little slide to it. You can do the same thing on, like, if you're playing a C chord, slide off E flat. In fact, you go. That's called an implied blue note. Another thing you can do is use the tritone substitution. Say you're going, anytime you move up from a 7th chord up a 4th, like G7 goes to C, you know that. It happens a zillion times in a zillion songs. 7th chords want to go up a 4th. If you're on C7th, for example, where does it want to go? It wants to go to F, up a 4th. Where's D7th want to go? Up a 4th to G. Okay, so whenever you're going up a 4th, you can use a tritone substitution. What do I mean by that? Well, the G7th chord looks like that, doesn't it? It's got 4 notes: G, B, G's the root, B's the 3rd, D's the 5th, and F is the 7th. Okay. Now, out of those 4 notes, 2 of them are in common with the D flat 7th chord. For example, if I change these 2 notes to those 2 notes, look what I have now. That's D flat 7th, and that slides up to C. So G7 to D flat 7th to C, and it just makes it more interesting. Now, usually you can voice it a little different by putting in 6th or 7th, but that's the principle. It's called the tritone substitution. You simply take the 7th chord and substitute the chord. It's a flat 5th above it, D flat, but you keep the 3rd and the 7th of the G7th chord become the 7th and the 3rd of the D flat 7th chord. Okay, so you're just inverting the chord, and that gives you a nice slide. I call them half-step slides, by the way. Like if you're going from C7th to F, you see that? Here's C7th to F. If I was going from F to B flat, I can just slide down half a step. Okay, that's used all the time. Those half-step slides. Listen to a little jazz tune I wrote years ago. Those are all half-step slides. And if you wanted to, you could go. Okay, that's just a few more tips, and if you like these tips, come on over to playpiano.com and sign up for our free newsletter. You'll get tips, one a week or so. So thanks for being with me, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.